Okay, thank you very much for joining us in this live session covering the pre-market session right now. The US markets will open in about 2 hours, and we'll just quickly begin with HPR. HPR is down 10.48%. HPR has a tangible amount of short interest. You can see it's the short interest is 33.52%. Yes, thank you very much if you just joined us. So let's go ahead and see that what's going on. If you can see, if you can find any data on HPR. It appears to be rallying within a longer term bearish trend, although it's driving its MACD below the signal line. However, shares remain below a declining 200-day moving average, signifying that the dominant trend remains lower. It's lagging the S&P 500, so it appears to be rallying within a longer term bearish trend. So that longer term bearish trend is obviously the 200-day. It also points out that it is also declining. So HPR is, by a lot of measures, not exactly the most fantastic stock, but it has some amount, a healthy amount of short interest against it. That is good. That is good. Momentum is improving. It says momentum is improving. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors begin to purchase shares. Is it improving? Okay, yes, you can see that it is improving. So the tool we're using in this video is from Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab is by far the best and the most encompassing of all trading platforms, especially in the US, and indeed where in the US for US instruments and securities. By far the best. Research tools are, most outstanding. There's no contest in that direction. And a lot of people have complained that they have not been able to place certain bets, especially buying stocks that were halted. But once the halts are halted and the subsequent reinstatements, but once those reinstatements are in place, you can always trade them on Charles Schwab. So, but it's not always the case with other platforms. For some reason, they are not able to continue to offer the trades for all of these reinstated stocks. But with Charles Schwab, it is once it's lifted by either the SEC or the exchange or the medium, it will always be able for you to trade. So it says the volume is bearish. The volume unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. Okay, so that sort of supports the short interest we're seeing. Yes, sort of, but because we don't exactly know when the short interests were initiated, so we can actually just have a look at the chart and start to guess a bit, when some of those things, some of those short interests were initiated. Something like this, something from here, something from the 9th of February, maybe it could be when some of those, you can see that was when it reached it almost got some resistance from the 200-day trend, the 200-day trend line. The last time you also got that resistance from that trend line, it also declined. You can see that, and this time around it has declined further, and tried to appreciate again, probably trying to got some slight resistance almost, but not absolutely, from the 10-day trend line, and since declined. So there's a good chance some of those short interests may have been initiated at such levels from the 9th of February. So if we come back here, you can see it's down 10.48%. So let's see whether we can see anything that remotely resembles such. So this is what we were looking at earlier on. So well, it may not even be at this point. It may have been there earlier on, but The short interest is on this is saying 17.21, whereas on stock tweet some short squeeze it's saying 33.52. So, and this is us at the 15th of March. So there's a good chance that after the 15th of March, that a short interest definitely increased. So yeah, morning. Thanks for joining us. We already got one like. If you're there, give us your own like as well. Thank you very much. So let's see. So that short interest increased by nearly 100% from the after the 15th of March. So this is the 15th of March. So this is afterwards. So let's see. So could it even be from then that we began to see that, or could it even be from here? Could see. At this point also it broke through the 50-day trend line. This is this is the daily chart. Can we see that as well here? This is 50-day trend line. Yes, it broke through that. So this was as recent as the 24th of March. So yes, there's a good chance a healthy amount of that may have come about from the 24th of March and thereafter. So you can see there's a significant, the decline, the pullback is very much regular. It looks like it looks quite regular. There's a good chance that some of those short interests were part of the transaction that brought this down to where it is right now. So, and of late, it definitely has come of interest to a lot of market participants, because we're talking about 33% of the stock. So 33% of it. So we're talking about divide this by 30. We're talking about $8 million. So for a small stock, that's 8 million. Yes, it's why not? Why would you not follow a stock that has 33% in potential? So you can imagine if you were to begin to squeeze in, if the short sellers were to start squeezing in that $8 million, the stock is going to definitely increase. It's not going to be 33%. It's going to be way more, because with every heavy transaction, every heavy buy order, the stock is going to move up. And obviously this is also a highly volatile stock. And look at that 4.3 million shares floated. This is infinitely small by relative terms. By the time you begin to put in $8 million into the stock, it will just be zooming up and up and up. So I just didn't observe that this is also one of the things that is also attracting market participants to HPR. It's very, very, very low float. So the implication also is, the counter to that is that if it's going to decline, it will also decline like mad. It's definitely of interest. It's highly volatile, and yes, it will definitely continue to attract market participants. Okay, you want us to have a look at MMX and NHIC. Okay, let's have a look at MMX for you. So while we are here, we will not be able to see MMX because right now the market is not open yet. So we can always just enter this MMX. So this is the daily chart. Let's get to the 1 minute. So this is all that happened during the last trading session. So we had, at some point, it declined to a low of 0.0017, and obviously I reached 0.0019. So this has been the pattern for weeks. You can see momentum reaches the max, it drops again, and other stuff. So MMX, just like a lot of one other popular stock, HCMC, has a lot of dilution. I believe the owners of the company keep on raising debt and they convert it to equity or something like that, so it causes a dilution. We've seen that as well with Tesla. So, and usually what happens is that you're expected to give it a few months before maybe things begin to maybe pan out or something like that. But I mean, I don't see how that comes about. But yeah, but the problem with MMX is also that market cap participants are also skeptical about the company. They don't trust the person running the company. Is it somebody Hanks, something like that, you know? So we don't have any fresh news at the moment for MMX. So it says down here, it appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. So let's see, this is based on the daily chart over maybe 10 trading sessions. It says it's consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Okay, the average directional index ADX is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day is still sloping bullishly upwards. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's lagging the S&P 500. Momentum for MX is improving. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors begin to purchase shares. So is it improving? Yes, it's improving. It's no longer oversold. And we can see the average volume for the last 10 days is 1.4 billion. For the last 90 days, it's 904.395 billion. So let's see what the volume is saying. The unbalanced volume indicator is bearish. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. So over the last 10 to 14 trading sessions, there's evidently a lack of buying interest, but at the same time momentum is also gradually improving. So I think it just indicates that people are, just trying their best to get positive with MX, So they do their best to come out with announcements. You can see here on these two are the same. MX Resources announces its first solar power, hydrogen, and carbon capture project agreement. But all of these things, they don't convince a lot of market participants. They've been trading MMX for some time now, for some years now, and it's, according to them, this is always the news. It has a market cap of $54.4 million, 29.385 billion shares outstanding. It's quite hefty, very, very hefty. Even though we have seen more, but technically it's definitely a buy. If you want to take the risk on MMX, assuming this time around that they're going to deliver on their projects, then it is the fundamentals are taken care of. And then on technically, it's definitely without any doubt a buy. Even though we can actually see that the short-term trend lines have started to now trade almost at the same time, almost at the same price as the stock itself. Some of them they've nearly converged now. So, but regardless of these short-term technicals, it's definitely a buy. You can see it's also trading below its 50-day trend line. So yeah, any day, anytime, it's a buy. And the good thing about it is that you can always, with a small amount of money, buy what looks like a few thousands. So with $50 you can buy a few thousands. So yeah, get in and see how it goes. Indeed, it is very, 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 very risky. So you also mentioned another stock. Okay, NHIC. Okay, let's look at NHIC. We're going to look at all the other ones you mentioned. Let's look at NHIC. New Hold Investment Corp. Okay, let's update the date. Okay, new hold. Okay, let's see if there's any new news here. Okay, there's any fresh news. Going down, we can see the unbalanced volume indicator seems to be edging up a bit. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator might be in the oversold territory. MACD is also below the signal line. It says the momentum from NHIC strongly bearish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is below 20, the level which many analysts call oversold. This means that investors have been actively selling shares and driving the price lower. And the unbalanced volume indicator shows that longer term accumulation is giving way to near term selling pressure by traders. So we can see evidently, yes, the momentum is low and volume is also retracing, and the stock itself evidently we can see what happened. Of late it dropped from within how many sessions was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it dropped, and it's beginning to appreciate again. But yes, on a short term, it is technically providing a very good buying opportunity. Yes, it has corrected, pulled back, and trading at a discount. You can see where the short on these are the short-term trend lines, and this is the intermediate trend line. So you can see where it's trading. It's definitely trading at a discount to them. So definitely, yes, I would say technically I don't exactly know what the company does, so it's definitely a buy, yeah. So let's look at the other ones you mentioned. OCG. So let's also have a look here as well on that NHIC. Okay, it's up slightly, 0.69 the pre-market session. So the other one is OCG. This trading tool is from Charles Schwab as well. It's known as Street Smart Edge. Okay, if you have the means, by all means, open an account with Charles Schwab and get your hand on this trading tool. Charles Schwab is by far one of the oldest, and they are doing their best to provide the best means. So its Oriental Culture Holdings is down 1.62%. So this is what happened in the in the last trading session. So let's try and look at the daily chart. You can see on the daily chart, we can see it's quite bullish at the moment, trading slightly below its short-term trend line. And even the MACD is still above the signal line, so I think it's quite bullish at the moment. So let's even see what it's saying here. This is also from Charles Schwab as well, OCG, just in case. So, and we're not being sponsored by Charles Schwab. We use it, and we most certainly do recommend it for you. So they're not paying us to say what it is. So we're just giving them the credit. So we can see it says momentum is as measured by 14-period slow stochastic oscillators waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits from positions bought at lower prices. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. So I think what's going on here is just that there is a small cash out going on here. We can see it reached $14.27. So I think what I can still read from this is that market participants are just taking money out of the table at the moment. So I would say just observe and see what's going on with OCG. I can't exactly say that, just as it is trading slightly below its 10-day trend line, that it has presented a buying opportunity, and that it has dipped. So but if you want to get involved, regardless, by all means do so. So let's look at the other stock you mentioned. You mentioned an NLSP. Yeah, we've gotten 2 likes. Can we make it 3? NLSP. So NLSP is NLS Pharmaceuticals. It's slightly up in the pre-market, up 0.53%. We can also see this is a daily chart, and very much like that of the other stock we saw, OCG. It's also slightly trading slightly, I wouldn't say slightly, but below its 10-day trend line, and also trading at the same level with its, this is the volume weighted average price. So let's just quickly have a look at what happened in the before the market closed. So based on this 1-minute chart before the market closed, it was getting bullish. You can see that. You can see at this point all the shots, all the trend lines, the short to the long term were above. So it just broke through the support at the 10-day trend line and declined, moved sideways a bit, and was beginning and started to extend. So it closed on a bullish positive note, so during that last session. So let's see what the readout here says. Okay. NLSP. So it says, okay, momentum for NLSP as measured by 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in the recent purchases and may even be taking profits from positions bought at lower prices. So just as it was in OCG, that seems to be the case. It says the unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. You see, it's still bullish. The slope of the indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. So the buyers are not as heavy, they are not as powerful as the sellers. If not, they would have taken the stock at least above the 10-day trend line. So, but a lot of selling did occur, hence the low momentum we're seeing there. So it's also a penny stock, and I might say yes, he may be wary of missing another opportunity. But I would just say, even though it's trading below its short-term trend line, it's one of them, which is the 10-day, I would still say just observe and see how things go, and just be ready to jump in or not, So let's go ahead and look at the other one you mentioned. That will be CIDM. So if you're there and you have given us a like, just give us a like. CIDM. So SIDM Corp, okay, trading at $1.69 so far in the pre-market. 246,800 shares have crossed the tape, so which is below average at the moment. So let's update this to the 29th. So we can see there isn't any fresh news. The last piece of news that came out concerning was on the 25th. That was a Thursday. We can also see that unbalanced volume indicator looks quite bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator seems to be waning as well. And we can see SIDM is showing strength within a longer term bearish trend. What is it saying? Showing strength within a longer term bearish trend. Okay, so maybe, okay, yes, over the last 10 trading sessions, we can see, yes, it is showing some strength, because you can see the price it closed at was 169. So if you go back 10 trading sessions, we can see it is still very much strong, very much bullish, but at the same time its 200-day trend line is also bearish. So that is why it is saying here that it is showing strength within a longer term bearish trend. So that's the longer term is still bearish. So its MACD is above the signal line, so it's somewhere ahead, not very clear. Let's see if we can expand it and see if it's going to be clearer. Yes, it's okay, still not okay. Yeah, it is clear, very much clear. You can see this is where the signal line is just there. The signal line is its average, is its moving average indicator. Just tells it on a certain day this was what you were doing. So it's the MACD is above that signal line, and the shares are presently 47.5% above that declining 200-day moving average. However, the moving average is declining. That's a 200-day, implying that caution is still warranted. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's outperforming the S&P 500. So it will always be that caution is still warranted, because over the last 200 days it still hasn't overcome its past woes, so it's past bearish record. So that's what it's just saying. Momentum for CIDM as measured by 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is waning. Okay, we saw that. I think this means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits from positions but at lower prices. Yes, it's evidently waning, and the unbalanced volume indicator is definitely bullish as well. So I think just like the other ones, it is a case of taking profits. Yes, it is a case. Yes, definitely. And in this case, it's actually still trading above all of its trend lines, and we did not see that on this chart. Yes, we did. So it's still quite bullish, the stock. So it hasn't really corrected. So if by the same time it's trading at it's very quite cheap, $1.69. Market float is okay. Has a generous share float. So in any case, though, if you feel this is right for you, if you feel it has declined enough, it's declined from $1.9315 to 1.69. If you feel this is okay for you to jump in, yeah, by all means, just be cautious and see how it goes. There isn't any change in the pre-market session right now. Oh, is it? There is. I think there is. You can see currently it's extending, or is it no, not really extending as such, just where it is. So, but this is how it closed above all of its trend lines, or it closed on a bullish note, a very positive note. So by all means, if you want to get involved, just be cautious. I would say if you're going to observe, okay, you can see it's moving, it's actually live at the moment. So wait for it to retrace below setting at least some short-term trend lines before you jump in. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the second one. The next one rather, it will be ELCR. Okay, yes, I'm looking forward to that as well, ELCR. So give us a thumbs up there while we're looking at Cool BJ's stocks. We're going to come back and look at ELCR for you. So let's look at the SPCB there. SPCB. SPCB. Supercom Limited. Okay, so that's another penny stock as well. Currently 9,000 shares have crossed the tape below average. Okay, has a relatively small float of 18.789 million shares, and let's see where it closed on the. So Okay, it just converged with its 10-day trend line. So as I was saying, it has a relatively small, not so huge, but not so huge as well, not so huge share float. So currently trading at 1.63. There isn't any fresh news concerning Supercom, SPCB, Supercom. So I think the 14 period slow, this unbalanced volume indicator still looks strong, but the 14 period slow stochastic oscillator is also waning. So I might, yes, I think it's also a good case, yet another case of taking profits. So SPCB, it's showing strength within longer term bearish trend. Evidently, yes, you can see this is the 200-day trend line showing strength within that. So is it showing strength? Let's see, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so if you count 10 sessions all the way back, you can see it is, even though it has declined over the last how many sessions, 2 3 4 5, over the last 5 sessions it has been declining, but over the last 10 sessions it has actually, it's still higher. It's still if you over the last 10, it's still high. So that's why it is saying it is showing strength. Just it's just some of that strength it exhibited over the last 10 is still trading sessions still there, but it's still 32% above that declining 200-day trend line. So this stock is not as volatile as so many other stocks, but it's still a volatile stock. So it's however, that moving average, which is the 200-day, is still declining. It's outperforming the S&P 500. The momentum definitely will be saying it is waning. Investors are taking profits from positions, but at lower prices. The unbalanced volume indicator is definitely, it's absolutely a case of taking profits again. SPCB. Yes, currently the pre-market is down 2.43%. So momentum is flat right now. Everything is flat. It's moving sideways. You see, this is based on the 1-minute chart. So the MACD is not showing any direction at all. You can see there. So it's quite flat at the moment. But at the same time as well, sometimes when it's flat like this, it can also mean, yes, things are a bit quiet. Maybe I can just jump in. But if you want to do so, by all means, yeah, you could see how things are going. Okay, and see right now, this is also, we've seen this already. So it has converged with its 10-day trend line by several means. It's definitely a good buying opportunity. It's a buy the dip opportunity. It retraced from $2.2189 down to 160 now. So yeah, it's still retracing. Just observe and see whether you're comfortable about jumping in, and just be aware that it may also decline further. Okay, so let's look on to the next one, which will be okay. So FANG and WKEY. Okay, let's look at FANG first of all. So while this is loading, let's look at FANG here. Phoenix New Media. All right. Okay. So yes, it's slightly up 0.52% currently in this pre-market session. In this live pre-market session, currently trading above all of its trend lines, but consolidating, just moving sideways. Even though the MACD is also indicating that it's slightly bullish, momentum is also slightly okay. So let's look at the daily charts and see how things look globally. Okay, it is definitely a case again of probably money taking of market participants taking money off the table, but it's not trading below its short-term trend lines based on the 1 minute chart. So yes, I think it's definitely what's going on out here as well. So let's look and see. Okay, yes, it's way there now, and it's saying yes, it appears to be in a strong bullish trend. Its 200-day moving average is upward sloping. The MACD histogram is above zero. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's outperforming the S&P 500. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is waning. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even taking profits from positions but at lower prices. Definitely. The unbalanced volume indicator is bullish. The slope of indicator is positive and suggests that buyers are presently more active than sellers. So yes, over the last 10 to 14 trading sessions, yes, more money has come off the stock, but people are gradually trying to get back into the stock as well. So okay, you can see now it has retraced below its longer term trend line and the short term 10-day trend line. So currently, well, gradually getting there, presenting a buying opportunity based on the 1 minute chart. So you have to balance out the what's going on in the interim and what goes on, or what has gone on in the broader picture, which is what the daily chart will probably tell you. So let's look at the next one you mentioned. It will be WKEY. Okay, thank you very much for all the likes. If you're there, just hit that like button. Let's get going. WKEY. So WAGY International Holdings is up 4% currently in this pre-market session, and it's trading below its 10-day trend line, but moving sideways along with its 10-day trend line. It's a short-term trend line. Momentum is still sustained at 74.27%. But the MACD is not pointing at any direction at the moment based on this is what's going on live right now concerning WAGY. So on the daily chart, we can see what's going on, what has happened. So on the daily chart as well, it's also a very good case of money going off the table, but some appreciation has some appreciation occurred. It's trying to get bullish as well. You can see the MACD is clearly above the signal line. That's because the retracement that occurred did not bring it below the 10-day trend line. So the MACD is still very much bullish. So even though it has this retracement, the stock is still very much bullish. So if you want to get involved as well, just be careful. It's currently up 4% in the pre-market, and just be really careful. So I understand you also want I like the video. Thank you very much for looking at for this. Okay, so KZIA wants us to look at ELCR. Okay, so if you're there, give us a thumbs up already. Let's get going. So ELCR, I believe we do cover that stock quite some time. Just a cursory look, and I think we may have a position there as well. Electric car co. So the market is opening in about roughly an hour and some fractions. So electric car co is definitely a super penny stock. The market cap of 10.9 million and 6.816 billion shares outstanding. So technically, easily, without even seeing anything, it's definitely it's a buy technically. You can see it's trading below all of its short and intermediate trend lines. So in the interim, it's definitely a buy. So moving down, we can see the unbalanced volume indicator seems to be waning. I think the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is also not positive as well. It's quite bearish and says ELCR appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Okay, let's see. Yes, definitely correct. Consolidating. The unbalanced, the average directional index or ADX is below 20, indicating that shares have traded sideways. However, the 200-day trend line is still bullishly upwards. It's also lagging the S&P 500. Yes, as we indicated. Oh, the momentum is strongly bearish. Yes, as we indicated, the 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is falling as investors sell shares and drive the price lower. So the unbalanced volume indicator shows that longer-term accumulation is giving way to near-term selling pressure by traders. So this is one stock that is not that popular, and we don't exactly know what the fundamentals are. We've not come across any due diligence on the stock, but technically it sounds like it's going in the right direction, electric car co. But technically it's definitely easily a buy. You can see it's trading at a discount to all of its short-term and intermediate trend lines. So yeah, if you're going to get involved, just by all means do so, but just be careful. Let's have a look. Electric car co. This is the daily chart, so let's look at the one-day chart. May not be active at the moment. So you can see based on this is where it closed during the last at the end of the last trading session, which was on 26th. So you can see it was also trading at a discount as well to all of its short-term trend lines. So we have seen this sort of pattern with stocks that are trading at dime levels. So you can see always this cyclical sort of pattern. We've seen that in HCMC, in MMX. We're now seeing that in ELCR. So technically, you want to get involved, yes, but we haven't done any due diligence on electric car co. Yes, and we have a position there as well. So thank you very much. So let's go on and look at other stocks we were looking at today. BRPA. Just feel free to let us know any stock you want us to have a look at, and give us a thumbs up. So Big Rock Partners acquisition is up 42.27% and still climbing, I believe. Okay, thank you. You're welcome. So so Big Rock Partners acquisition is up 43.64%. So let's see if we can find out why it is moving up. BRPA, and it was up during the last trading session. I believe it must be a SPAC stock. You can see it has a small float of 2.68 million shares. So it's okay. Let's see. For the Neuropharma, which plans to merge with blank check company Big Rock Partners, said Monday, which is today, that its COVID-19 drug Zisami met its phase 2B/3 primary or trial primary endpoint of successful recovery in patients with respiratory failure by day 28. The drug, developed jointly with Relief Therapeutics, also significantly increased survival rates after controlling for ventilation status and treatment sites. NeuroRx said Zisami, or avitadil acetate, is the first drug to its knowledge that increases both COVID-19 survival and recovery rates. Patients treated with the drug had 71% recovery rates by 28 of the study, compared with 48% for the placebo group and 75% recovery chance by day 60 against 55% in patients receiving placebo, the company said. So that's yes, it's getting some positives concerning its COVID-19 drug. So it's and it's rather the NeuroRx is merging with Big Rock, so that's why we're seeing what we're looking at right now. So yeah, if you dare, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. So let's move on to the next one, which will be HPR. We were talking, spoke extensively to some extent about HPR. Still declining in this pre-market session. Has a hefty short interest of 33%, and it also has a very small float of 2 million and some fractions. So the fact that it has that small float will always exacerbate its retracements. So we're looking at 14.552 now. So it could be, if the float were more, it may be less. The retracements we're looking at around may be less. But that's what's going on. It's a volatile stock, so let's look at HGEN. HGEN is up 59.4%. Okay, so let's see whether we can find any news concerning it. So you can see it has a market cap of $748.2 million. Shares outstanding is 53.482 million. And you can see it's currently trading below all of its trend lines. And with this extension we're looking at right now, this 57.26% we're looking at right now, which puts it at $22. So if you jumped in at this point, as at the 26th, seeing the opportunity it presented, you would have been smiling by now. So it takes the stock all the way up to somewhere here. So that is where it's currently trading at right now. That's a huge jump above all of its short-term trend lines. So you wake up, or rather you go to bed, it's currently retraced. Well, I have to admit that it was actually extending. It was actually extending, so some market participants actually saw that the opportunity, and they jumped in, and the opportunity paid out all the more today. Now it's up 52% on some fractions. There's some news here. It says HGEN will host a conference call at 8 a.m. Eastern Time to discuss top-line results from the phase 3 clinical trial of Lenzilumab in patients hospitalized with COVID-19. So the company is definitely doing or providing doing research in what is very relevant at the moment. So yeah, it appears to be in a strong bearish trend. That was yes, what happened that rather over the last 14 trading sessions, or 10. Shares are declining Shares are below a declining 200-day moving average, and MACD is beneath the signal line. It's lagging the S&P 500. So that is why we've seen what's going on. It's come up with some positive outcomes. So, or rather, what they consider positive outcomes. So that okay, the session is already on already. So maybe that is what is also driving the stock a lot higher now. So HGEN is up 55.47% in the pre-market session, in the live pre-market session. So let's look at CAN. So Canaan Inc. is up 12.59%. Moved sideways. It just gapped once the market opened and has continued to move sideways. Or rather, this gap may have been one that occurred in the pre-market session, in the post-market session of the 26th. But in any case, though, since this pre-market session, it has just been moving sideways, but currently now extending slightly. So Canaan Inc. up at 12.64%. Let's see what is behind the news. Canaan Inc. So 805,000 shares have crossed the tape so far in this pre-market session. It's currently trading just below its short-term trend lines, but with this sort of increment now, it's still trading below the short-term trend lines. So let's see if we can find any news concerning. Yeah, it says here today, Canaan Inc. to report fourth quarter and full year 2020 financial results before the market opens on April 12th, 2021. Mid-cap notable movers of interest. So let's see if we can find any news concerning Canaan. Okay, it was actually a loser, but has since gained again. So no, sorry, that's not a fresh news. Sorry about that. That's the only fresh news. Is just that it will announce earnings outcomes on the 12th of April. So yeah, so it's up 12.7%. So let's look at the daily charts. So you can see the daily chart, even though it has extended right now, it's still not as, this extension still leaves it below the short-term trend line. So 12% is a lot in one given session. So I would just say you just observe and see how things go. So let's move on and look at EEIQ. Okay, we can see it's down 13.35%. We can see rather sorry, up 13.35%. So but that might be from the post-market session. That might be so. And we carried on during the session as well. We can see it's just moving sideways, and that's just gradually getting bullish. Momentum is trying to pick up as well. So Elite Ed International Elite Ed is up 13.35%. So let's see if we can find any news concerning EEIQ. Elite Education Group International. Oh, fascinating. Nothing on this. Okay, so we're using so let's update this chart and see what's going on. Oops. No trend lines. Okay, so no trend lines there to look at. So as at Friday the 26th, it says okay, it's okay. Elite International Group share surged 458% a day after the company priced its initial public offering of 750,000 shares at $8 for expected gross proceeds of $6 million. Shares began trading on Nasdaq Capital Market Thursday, the 25th. Each unit is immediately separable into one common share and one Series A warrant and one Series B warrant. According to a statement, the Series A and B warrants are exercisable to purchase of one common share for $5 and $10 each, respectively, both with a 5-year term. Okay, so it's just going public, I think. EEIQ up 14.52%. KZIA Therapeutics up 15.11%. I think also the gap occurred just at the close of the market session, and it has so to some extent sustained some of that because it was even up more than it is currently. So it actually reached $14, closed at $11.12 and reached $14. So that will be close to 40 or 38% or thereabout. So currently up currently up 15.11% at the moment. Yeah, if you're there, give us a thumbs up. Let's get going. So we'll quickly move on to the next one. Bluebird Bio Inc. up 7.67%, but not showing enough direction at the moment as well. Passion Square down 0.45%. Tencent Media Music Entertainment is also in the news, but just slightly up 3.48%. I think it announced it's going to buy back its shares with up to $1 billion. So it's currently up 3.5% from its closing price of $2.10. Faster Bio Inc. is up 9.7% at the moment. So we don't have any pre-market graphics, but it's up roughly 10% right now. ZK International Group up 5.61%. Asia Broadband is also, yes, it's up in the pre-market session. We can see it's closed the session of the 26th at 0.3145, but currently has extended to 0.3690 at the moment. Momentum is quite just flat at the moment, and the MACD is also below the signal line and pointing just quite bearish at the moment. Yeah, so let's see what GameStop is doing. GameStop down 0.78 currently. See, retraced, just only trading above its longer term trend line based on this 1 minute chart. AMC is also up by 1.37%. KOSS is up 6%, and this extension occurred in this live pre-market session. So it carried on its pretty much the same way from where it closed, and moved sideways for the best part of probably 30 minutes, and since that time it began to extend and extend, but it has cooled off. But I think it's probably got some momentum. Enough momentum is flat at the moment, but we'll see how things go. Yeah, if you're there, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. So let's have a look and see what's going on elsewhere in the markets. If you're just there, thank you very much for joining us. Give us a thumbs up, drop a line, drop a comment. Get engaged with us and see how things go. So we're saying S&P futures versus fair value is a negative 15.4. Nasdaq futures versus fair value is a negative 14.6. S&P futures traded 15 points or 0.4% below fair value for the month. The S&P 500 is up 4.3%. So let's see what they're saying on CNBC. Five things to know before the stock market opens on Monday, which is today. So here are the important news, trends and analysis that investors need to start their trading day. US futures drop after Friday's record for Dow, S&P 500, Credit Suisse, Nomura hit from US hedge fund fallout. Ever given cargo ship blocking Suez Canal is partially floated. Biden to push infrastructure before health and family care. Fauci wants the US only at the corner of COVID pandemic. So that's in a nutshell what's going on. So I think there are indeed some other stocks that are on the move, so we'll try and get them and look at them as well. If you're there, thank you very much for joining us. Give us, oh, we got a fourth, we've got number 4 in there. If you're there, give us a thumbs up, please, man. Thank you very much. So we want to look at BRPA. I believe we may have some other piece of stocks that are on the move. Big Rock Partners acquisition. KZIA, we have looked at KZIA, HGEN, we've looked at AMPH, we have looked at it, I believe. Blue, we have looked at it. EVOL, TME, MOXC, BTU. Okay, so we have not looked at EVOL, so let's look at EVOL and see what's going on. eBank International up 5.38% in this pre-market session, and I believe it just carried on from where it closed in the post market, which was probably where much of those gains occurred, but we're looking at 5.51% now. So well, at some point it wasn't as high as it is right now. So eBank International up 5.51% currently. So let's look at what's going on in its daily chart. So on its daily chart, I think it's also a good case of money going off the table as well. You can see that money going of late, money went off the table. So momentum is definitely not strong for sure, but we can exactly also see that volume is also strong as well. So but volume may still be strong as well, but momentum is flat. The people who probably bought at lower prices are taking money off the table at the moment. So that's what's going on with eBank. So the next one we have looked at is TME. So gapping down. Okay, it's good to look at some of the stocks that are not doing well. So let's look at the NMR. So because they may still be presenting a buying opportunity, because it's when they are exiting that you have to enter. So let's look at NMR. Nomura Holdings. Okay, so it's a big hedge, it's a big finance house. It's currently down 13.16%. I believe this yeah, it's once the market opened, it just immediately declined, and even declined further than it did now. So currently down 13.16%. I believe the news is that it's been hit by the losses of hedge funds. So well, who knows? Are these hedge funds the ones that were squeezed out by GameStop and GameStop Wall Street bettors? Who knows? So Nomura is down 13.16%. Let's look at the daily charts if it's presenting a good buying opportunity. Okay, no, on the daily chart it's still very much bullish, very much bullish, you know. And the MACD is also above the signal line. So this has not dented the strength of the stock. So we'll have a look at the readout on Charles Schwab here. So if you're there, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for joining us. Nomura. Okay, only 76,300 shares have crossed the tape so far. You can see as at the 26, which is the last trading session, says a new 52-week high, but who knows, that I may have 52-week. Okay, it reached an all-time high. So, and then came the news, and it has since retraced a bit, corrected now, more than corrected. So 20 billion is the market cap, 30.234 billion shares outstanding. I say there's an update here. It says Credit Suisse warns of big losses after Akigo's share dump. Let's see what the news is saying. So it says Nomura and Credit Suisse are facing billions of dollars in losses after U.S. hedge fund named by sources as Akigo's Capital defaulted on margin calls, putting institutional investors on edge about who else might have been caught. Losses at Akigo's Capital Management, run by Tiger Asia manager Bill Huang, had triggered a fire sale of stocks on Friday. A source familiar with the matter said Nomura, Japan's largest investment bank, warned on Monday it faced a possible $2 billion loss due to transactions with the U.S. client, while Credit Suisse said a default on margin calls by a US-based fund could be highly significant and material to its first quarter results. The Swiss bank said that the fund had defaulted margin calls to it and other banks, meaning they were now in the process of exiting these positions. Two sources said Credit Suisse's losses were likely to be at $1 billion. One of those sources said the losses could go as high as $4 billion, a figure also reported by the Financial Times. Credit Suisse declined to comment on an estimate. Nomura shares closed down 16.3%, a record one-day drop. While Credit, okay, see that happened in the pre-market, in the post-market of the 26th, so a record drop, and it has since sustained that loss. That's what we're looking at right now. Yes, since sustained that loss. Yes, that's why we're seeing this just sideways movement. It has actually, you see, this is where it fell. This will be probably 16%. So this is much. This is where it is right now, 13.62%. So just carried over what happened in the post market of the 26th. So it says Credit Suisse shares were down 14%, their biggest fall in a year. Credit Suisse's financial regulator said on Monday it was aware of the hedge fund's case and was in touch with Credit Suisse about it. The Swiss regulator also said several banks and locations internationally were involved. Swiss National Bank declined to comment. In Japan, the Chief Cabinet Secretary Katsunobu Kato said the government will carefully monitor the situation at Nomura and that financial services agency would share information with the Bank of Japan. Other bank shares were affected, with Deutsche Bank down 5%, while UBS was 3.8% lower. UBS had no immediate comments on its stock prices or exposure to Akigo's. Deutsche's Akigo's exposure was a fraction of what others have, a source familiar with the matter said, adding that the German bank had not incurred any losses and was in a position of managing its positions. So margin calls is a call when a bank asks a client to put more collateral if a trade partly funded with borrowed money has fallen sharply in value. If the client cannot afford to do that, the lender will sell securities to try to recoup what it's owed. Margin calls on Akigo's prompted a massive unwinding of leveraged equity bets. Shares in Viacom, CBS, and Discovery each tumbled around 27% on Friday, while US listed shares of China-based Baidu and Tencent Music. Okay, we were looking at Tencent earlier on, plunged during the week, dropping as much as 33.5 and 48.5 respectively. from Tuesday's closing levels. Investors were nervous about whether the full extent of Akiyo's apparent wipeout has been realized or whether there was more selling to come. Nasdaq 100 futures and S&P 500 futures were down 0.5%. Okay, so Huang did not respond to a message on LinkedIn. A person at Akiyo's who answered the phone on Saturday declined to comment. Huang, who founded Akiyo's, ran Tiger Asia from 2001 to 2012, remained at Akiyo's capital and made it a family office, according to a page capture on that link. Yeah. So he and his firm at the time agreed to pay $44 million to settle the press release. Okay. So the scale of the losses at banks is likely to prompt questions about banks' oversight of the exposure to Akiyo's. If the figures one can read about Credit Suisse are accurate, there is clearly a big risk management problem, said Jerome Legras, managing partner and head of research at HGEN Alternative Investments, which invest in banks and insurers. For Credit Suisse, this will mark the second straight quarter the bank has recorded losses on hedge fund exposure, and adds to pressure on chief executive Thomas Gottstein, who is grappling with fallout from the bank's dealings with collapsed supply chain finance company Greensill. Volatility concerns. Some market participants said last week's wild share price moves were likely to uncertain investors. Okay, so that was some in-depth coverage of what's going on. So sorry if I bored you. Okay, you want us to look at EIGR. Okay, EIGR for you, EIGR. Yes. So give us a thumbs up there if you're still there. Sorry, we went on and over about that. EIGR. So while that is going on, let's pick it up from here. Eager Pharmaceuticals, no graphics at the moment, no change, but regardless, we're going to have a look at it. So if you're still there, thank you very much. Give us a thumbs up. So we're looking at EIGR now. So we can see easily, let's update. I believe this is the 20 exactly. So we can see the stock is definitely, it has just presented a buy the dip opportunity, and indeed, as at the 25th, Thursday the 25th, market participants noticed, as at the 24th rather of 24th, they noticed that and it jumped in, and it went from 842 to 887. So currently now it's at still at 887. So it's just moved sideways. Nothing much happened on that Friday. So yes, it is still very much a buying opportunity, even though it has since gained not up to 10%. No. So yes, technically in the interim, yes, it's definitely presenting a buying opportunity, and we have seen that from time to time. Sometimes it doesn't stay long. They don't stay long like this, and they jump in. So as a matter of fact, it's trading below all of its trend lines. So the readout here says that EIGR appears to be in a strong bearish trend. Yes, in a strong bearish trend. That is because the 200-day trend line is bearish. You can see that yellow line, it's bearish. So it appears to be in a strong bearish trend. Okay, the stock itself it's bearish, yes, and shares are below a declining 200-day trend line. We showed you that. It's shows it's the comparative relative strength analysis shows it's like in the S&P 500. Okay, so momentum for EIGR is strongly bearish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is falling as investors sell shares and drive the price lower. So let's see. Yes, no doubt about that. You can see it's definitely declining. This is over the last 14 trading sessions. The unbalanced bond indicator is bearish as well. The slope of the indicator is negative and suggests that there is a lack of buying interest. Yes, that's what we can see here. Yes, so easily on the technical side of things, yes, it's a buy, but we don't exactly know what the fundamentals are, and I believe it's a pharmaceutical. So usually we don't get dodgy things coming out from pharmaceutical stocks. So if you want to get involved, just by all means, I think it's definitely presenting a buying opportunity. Just jump in and there. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at TY for you, right? Okay, so TY. So so let's see if there's anything going on TY here in the pre-market. So the market is opening in about 42 minutes. So TY is unchanged. Tricontinental. You can see based on this 1 minute chart, this is how it's closed at this very strong point. You see that very strongly bullish. You know, momentum strong as well. Reach its marks. Mark D above the signal line. So that's, before we go back, we can also see what we're going to have a look at here as well. You can see also it's still very much bullish. You can see over the several past, what I say now, past 5 months, it has just been extending. This is a very bullish stock. This is very much positive, but at the same time, MACD is also not showing any direction, even though it's it has overall it has been ascending and extending, but in the last few sessions, based on what's on the daily chart, it's not really showing any direction, but I can still say it's strongly bullish. So let's see what the readout is going to say as well. See, ETFs and CEFs are not for jurisdictions. Okay, it says, you can see, so we're seeing the same thing as well. You can see a better inclination here as well. So I think this is an ETF. Yes. Okay. So would we get any? Yes, it says it appears to be consolidating within a longer term uptrend. Consolidating. Okay, so the uptrend is, the longer term uptrend is this one. So you can evidently and clearly see it is up, sloping upwards. So it's consolidating. That's what it's saying. Okay, within a longer term uptrend. The average directional index, or ADX, is below 20, indicating that the shares have traded sideways recently. However, the 200-day trend line is still bullishly upwards, evidently. Comparative relative strength analysis shows it's outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for TY is strongly bullish. The 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is rising as investors pay high prices for shares. The unbalanced zone volume indicator shows that the longer term selling pressure has given way to near term accumulation by traders. So people are buying more now, it seems. Yes. Yeah, we can see that. I think it retraced here, but it's now extending gradually. So let's see what's involved with what this ETF is. Fund profile, inception date 1929. Total assets is 1.8 billion. Prospectus benchmark is S&P 500. That's what it benchmarks. So we even have a report here. So let's have a look. Dividend paid on the 25th. That was Thursday. Announcement date was the 5th, and execution date was, if that is what it means, it's on the 16th. So okay, yes, I start the 26th of March. Yeah, TY, that's what we're looking at right now. So Tricontinental, the fund is a diversified management investment company. The fund with future growth of providing reasonable current incomes. yes, so I don't know if you have had a look at this yourself. If you have had it, if you have come across this report, so let's see. They don't sometimes they don't write notes on this. This is a Reuters report. Mostly a lot of figures. So we'll try a way of if I believe you may have come across this yourself. So see, now let's look at the annual cash flow. Okay, this is as at December 2020. It has non-cash items at $110 billion. Changes in working capital 31 billion. Total cash from operating activities 198 million. Sorry. Net change in cash is $80 million. Yeah. So okay, there's also financing cash flow items. We have in negative 29 million. Total cash dividends paid is 88 million. Total cash from financing activities is 117 million. Yeah, I believe you may have come across this report. So yeah. Okay, so moving on, we will, if you're still there, anybody, just give us a thumbs up, drop a line for us, and we'll see how things goes. So let's return and see what's going on with GameStop. The market is open in about 25 minutes. GameStop down 1.39%. So let's look at AMC. AMC is so it is up 0.2%. We can see graphically it's retracing. KOSS is up 5.54%. Some of that retrace extension happened during this live session. So we're looking at a few stocks before now. So High Point is has gained, even though it's still down, has gained about 4% or thereabouts. So High Point has that 33% short interest, so that's why it's of interest to us, and indeed maybe other people, I suppose. So yeah, just observe and see what's going on with it. It's currently at $5.52 now. HGEN is up 61.26% currently. KENN Inc. up 12.87%. Elite Group Limited up 15.42%. KZIA Therapeutics, up 12.5%. Bluebird Bio up 5.4%. Tencent Music Entertainment up 7.96%. So Tencent was one of the stocks that was affected by a margin call that failed. Obviously, you know, when margin calls don't, if you don't answer the margin call positively, your broker will sell positions to make sure they cover their own losses. So I believe in the one of the stocks that was closed by Credit Suisse, Nomura, a few other banks, included Tencent, included Discovery, and Viacom. So these are the three we know. But today, Tencent is announcing that they're buying some stock back with up to $1 billion. So currently up 7.56% at the moment. So let's move on and have a look at AMPH. If you're there, just drop us a line and let's see how things go. And give us a thumbs up as well. So AMPA, faster Pharma Ascent currently. ZK International Group up 5.1%. So let's look at all the stocks we normally look at. No change for American Battery Metals. Okay, so I think it's extended to $1.51 currently. Sun Hydrogen is also no. Toscan down 1.12 pre-market session. Sunworks down 1.82%. Fuel Cell Energy down 0.83%. If you're there, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for joining us. Market is opening in about 30 minutes. UZOP is up slightly in this pre-market session. Accent Solar is, well, there's no activity. BioSolar and is, yes, has extended at currently trading at 0.045, closed at 0.041. Vertex Energy, yeah, if you're there, thank you very much for joining us. Give us a thumbs up. And if you want us to have a look at any stock, put it down there in the description box, rather in the chat box. Plug Power down 0.82%. GVO down 1.63%. Cielo waste is unchanged at the moment. Canoe Inc. up 1.12%. Fusion Fuel Green is down 0.82%. Churchill Capital down 1.65%. Upstart Holdings down 1.36. I2 Biofarm down 2%. Hexo down 0.32%. Canadian Solar down 0.7%. All of these are obviously during in the pre-market session. Voyager Digital Limited is unchanged at the moment. Okay, Luckin Coffee is unchanged. We can see it's actually slightly extended in this pre-market, reached $8.723, but it's retraced, moved sideways, retraced further, sideways and extended, but just been trading sideways for the best part of 35 minutes now or thereabout. Luokong is down 5.84%. NLS Pharmaceuticals, who covered this earlier, is up 7.43%. Entera Bio Limited up 1.68%. Check Cap down 2.78%. Etena Zentaris down 0.81%. Sigma Labs down 0.48%. Farming Inc. is down 2.68%. Select Biomed is down 4.23%. Verica Pharmaceuticals is unchanged at the moment. So let's see what's going on in the markets already. So we have about 22 minutes before the markets open. So this is the same news concerning the losses Nomura and a few other banks are going to may incur. So that's what they're talking about here, is it? Okay, says Nomura has reportedly cancelled plans to issue dollar-denominated debts after the U.S. firms after the firm's U.S. unit suffered as much as $2 billion in losses. Okay. So Sundial, it lost 6.56% in I believe in the last trading session. Let's look at what's going on with it. So at the moment, Sundial is just slightly up 0.88%. MLND, let's see. Milendo Therapeutics is down 16.97%. I think that is interesting. Let's have a look and see what the daily chart is saying. 16.97%. So currently, so it's currently at 1.81, so it will be somewhere here, 1.81. So this is where it will be, 1.81. You can see it has retraced down to, on the daily chart, below all of its short-term, all of its trend lines, short and intermediate. So maybe Milendo Therapeutics is presenting a buying opportunity with what we are looking at right now, with this retracement. Milendo Therapeutics, it's presenting a good buying opportunity with what we are looking at right now. But we'll see how the session goes. We'll see how the session goes. So buy the dip opportunity. We have seen that a lot with stocks, with biotherapy or pharma stocks. They retrace below their trend lines, and then by the time you know it, after 1 or 2 trading sessions, they're up again. So let's see how it goes. So currently, based on this 1 minute live stream, it has lost 16.51%. So we can actually find out whether there's something going wrong with it. So we can see it has lost all that value on above average volume. So there is definitely this is an above average volume normally will occur during a session where there's an extension, but we're looking at a retracement and we have above average volume. So we can see market cap of $41.4 million. The chart is not coming up yet, so we will refresh this. If you're there, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, this is not sure. Okay, yeah, this is 1 month. So okay, yes, news here says Milendo agreed to merge combined company to list on Nasdaq. It says Tempest Therapeutics, a clinical stage oncology company, and Milendo Therapeutics said today they have signed a definitive stock merger agreement. The combined company will focus on advancing Tempest's oncology pipeline of small molecule therapeutics. Upon shareholder approval, it is expected to operate under the name Tempest Therapeutics and trade on the Nasdaq Capital Market under ticker symbol TPST. Tempest has secured commitments from a group of healthcare investors for a $3 million PIPE financing that is anticipated to close concurrent with the completion of the merger. The company said the financing and merger are expected to close in the first half. Milendo stockholders are expected to own about 18.5% of the combined company, and Tempest stockholders about 81.5%. Together with the cash expected from both companies at closing, the proceeds of the merger and financing are expected to fund the company into early 2023. So I guess maybe because Milendo stockholders are only getting 18.5% of the entire stock, maybe they have left, and did they jump into Tempest? Okay, so could it be that they're not happy and they're kicking off and drop the stock? Yeah. Okay, so moving on, let's have a look at other stocks. Song Power down 1.43%. Support.com up 6.07%. Taiwan liposome it's down 4.22%. Kinix Pharmaceuticals down 1.38%. For new corporation, down 3.97%. Leap Therapeutics is down 2.53%. Deswell Industries is down 0.83%. Comstock down 0.62%. BioCryst Pharmaceuticals down 4.54%. Vuzix down 3.1%. Yeah, if you just joined us, give us a thumbs up. Thank you very much. Clovis Oncology down 2.17%. Market Therapeutics down 2.98%. Atlantic American Co is down 0.55%. Comscore up 0.82%. Excel Brands is down 0.52%. Novice Bio Inc. is up 0.36, and the market is opening about 8 minutes or thereabout. Adaptive Biotechnologies is up 2.2%. ChemFarm down 0.53%. Sunlink Health Systems up down 1.61%. Zomedica down 0.89%. Abatos Biopharmaceuticals is up down 0.6%. Immunoprecise antibodies up 2.77%. Yeah, if you're there, give us a thumbs up. Let's get going. Drop us a line, and let's see how it goes. Big Rock Partners up 50.48%. HPR is okay. It's gaining now. It was down 14% earlier on. Currently up 8.23% now, or rather, currently just losing only 8.23%. HGEN is up 57.68% now. Greenbank Capital Link unchanged at the moment. Charge Enterprises also unchanged. Zhongchao is down 3.38%. So the market is opening in about 5 minutes. Tonix Pharma is down 1.57%. American Resources down 1.35%. Torchlight Energy is down 1.62%. Rigo Pharma down 0.57%. Quick Logic unchanged. Not really unchanged. We have some change here. Retraced from this $7.3 down to 7. Okay, it's still, yeah, we can see yes, down to 7.2 at the moment. Greenland Technologies down 0.65%. So the market is open in about 2 minutes time. GameStop gradually trying to get into the green, just as the market is about to open. If you're there, give us a thumbs up and drop a line for us, and let's see how it goes. AMC up 1.07% currently. KOSS up 5.02%. BlackBerry up 0.52%. Nokia is down 0.52%. Just been moving sideways apart from this retracement and extension and subsequent extension. It looks like a sharp shot, and sudden advantage of that taken. Expressing down 1.65%. HPR down, yeah, it's getting up, trying to gather some of the losses it lost. High Point down 7.42%. Earlier on it was double that. Okay, market is now open, yes. So we'll uncheck the pre-market box and we'll see how things are going. So yeah, so High Point down 7.42%. So the Dow Jones is down 0.44%. Nasdaq unchanged. SPX down 0.3%. Let's see what's going on with the Russell. Russell is down 0.65%. So let's see. Big Rock, okay, up 51.85%. HPR, I think we have seen it, down 7.42%. HGEN is down 51%, or rather up 51%. Kinan Inc. up 9% roughly. Elite, okay, holding, trading is halted. It's up 59.74%. KZIA Therapeutics is up 13.73%. GameStop down 1.48%. Yeah, if you're there, give us a thumbs up, drop us a line, drop us a comment, and let's see how it goes. Thank you very much. AMC is also down 1% roughly, and KOSS is up 5.76. Express Inc. down 0.83%. So currently all the indexes are in the red at the moment. Bluebird Bio down, or rather up 6.66%. Tencent Music up 7.61%. And Faster Pharma Inc. is up 0.67%. ZK International Group up 4%. Asia broadband up 1.11%. American battery metals up 1.4%. Okay, sun hydrogen up 0.58%. Uzop is up 4%. Solar up 9.24%. Electric Carco down 6.25%. Okay, Healthier Choices up 27.27%. Blue Sphere up 20%. Black Pulse up 8%. Lake Resources down 0.5%, or rather up 0.57%. Global Battery Metals unchanged. Vision Hydrogen unchanged. Torchlight Energy down 2.43%. Metamaterials up 5.2%. Westport's Fuel Systems down 2%. So let's look at MLND. Millennium Therapeutics down 25.69%. Let's look at where it is. It's going into a merger with another company, but it seems evidently market participants are not happy about that. Okay, so we can see where it's currently trading at right now, below all of its trend lines. Buy the deep opportunity. Buy the deep. Bluebird Bio up 6.3% currently. Upstart Holdings up 0.7%. I2 Biopharm is down 0.53%. Hexacorp is down 0.63%. Canadian Solar is down 0.79%. VWAGY Digital Limited is up roughly 9.18%. Taiwan Liposome up 1.83%. KZIA Pharmaceuticals is up 0.57%. New is up, rather down 1.98%, so the Dow is now slightly in the positive, up 0.03%. Nasdaq up 0.0, rather down now. XPX is still down. Vacinex is down 0.64%. Comedix is up 1.17%. Forest Road Acquisition up 0.1%. Ajago Aerial Systems down 1.08%, so the Dow is currently up 0.06%, Nasdaq up 0.01%, XPS is down 0.08%. Palantir is down 0.8%. And Negos Corp is down 0.22%. Bitfarms Limited down 5.39%, up rather 5.39%. Riot's blockchain up 7.3%. Asia Broadband down 6% roughly. Based on this 1 minute live chart, it's presenting a buying opportunity. Jinko Solar is down 3.67%. Blooming Brands down roughly 1%. Six Flags down 0.79%. Capstone Companies is up 0.71%. Alpine 4 Holdings is down 6.37%. Serbain Biotech up 2.42%. Alternate Systems down up 0.84%. Saudi Ranch Media is down, or rather up 4.76%. FBC Holdings is unchanged. Grillit is up, Grillit Inc. up 25%. Legends Business Group is down 3.23%. Winning Brands is unchanged. US Energy Initiative up 9%. Beat Frontier Capital is down 0.07%. LTC Properties 0.49%. IS Holdings down 5%, or rather up 5%. Charge Enterprises up 7.94%. Solar Integrated Roofing down 2.44%. $250 Meters Inc. It's down 5.8%. Extel Inc. is up 7.11%. Yeah, if you're there and you have any stock you want us to have a look at, just drop the line and we'll look at it. NEO is up, rather down 0.9% currently. Second Sight Medical Pro down 4.5%. Purple Innovation is down 1.66%. Amplitech Group up 11.79%. First Energy up 1.08%. POSCO is up 0.77%. Zendesk is down 1.11%. New Hold Investment is up 0.4%. Net Element is down 1.60%. Medicinova down 1.18%. Greybog Vision is up 0.68%. Bluebird Bio Inc. is up 6.53%. Lish Inc. is down 4%. MOXC China up 4.34%. Chemtrex is down 3.45%. Adaptive Biotechnologies down 1.99%. New Beginnings Acquisition is up 0.24%. Cara Therapeutics down 0.45%. Rednet Inc. is up 1.52%. Super League Gaming down 0.26%. Tangier Factory Outlets down 0.79%. HGEN down 3.64%. OV Therapeutics is down 0.88%. Fulgent Genetics is up 1.68%. Waiter Holdings down 0.64. Okay, we're just going to call an end to the session. We're going to come back again during this session to continue to cover the market. Okay, thank you very much for all the likes and all the support for joining this session. Thank you very much. See you in a few minutes or an hour thereabout.